Page 34, rings and circles. It's at the bottom of the page. On this page, they're introducing a type of time signature called cut time. Cut time is like common time. Remember, common time is a C. Well, cut time is the C with a line through it. And it simply takes the 4/4 for common time and it turns it into 2/2. It cuts it 2/2. It's the same as 2/2. There are 2 beats in a measure and a half note gets a count. They're just funner and all to get out, huh? They call it an alla breve or alla breve. No matter how I pronounce that, somebody's going to disagree. So you have the English one and you have the Italian one and how you want to do it. And it's a breve for Italian and breve for the English word. So however you want, I usually just say alla breve because that's easier for me because I don't speak all that good anyway. So I'll take the easy way out. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it, it's still 2/2 time. For instance, in 2/2 time, a half note gets a count. 1, 2, 1, 2. Those are half notes. Means a quarter note gets half a count. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Those are quarter notes. Eighth note gets 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 16th note just goes nuts. Well, look at rings and circles. We got this. 1 and 2 and. Look at the bottom half. The bottom staff. I want here. I want to feel it in 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. But counting it is a monster. So when I find a piece I'm about to learn and it's in cut time, and I'm going to call it cut time because that's what we can call it, huh? I pretend it's in 4/4 time until I get it learned. And then once I have the rhythm down, because you're only counting the rhythm at first to get it, and then you feel it from then on. Once I have that down, then I can go back and put it in cut time. And that's what I'm going to do in this lesson. I'm going to talk about rings and circles as though it's in 4/4 time, and we'll put it back in cut time later. So let's talk about this. It's a page and a line long. Treble and bass clef, 2 sharps in the key signature. We're in the key of D major. Go do the D major scale and the D major arpeggio, at least 1 octave. You should know them by now. If so, do 2 octaves. If you don't, just do 1 octave to learn it. You don't have to, oh, screw that. I'm going to go straight for the 4 octaves. I'll show you. I would rather you didn't. It just makes life a lot harder than it needs to be. So if you don't know it, just go the 1 octave. Learn it. All you're after is what keys are in the scale. So you know which black keys to use. And then once you have a handle on that, then you can go the 2 octaves up because there's a little different finger crossing and things you got to deal with. Same with the arpeggio. The trill and the tremolo exercise is really what's most important there. Anyway, and then we have the cut time, which I'm going to pretend is common time for now. So right hand first, we're starting here, and I'm going to do this 1 and 2 and because I'm going to treat these 8th notes as half a count. 1 and 2 and 1. During the rest, then once you come up here, I'd rather not. First off, there's no reason to move. I can get these fingers right here. I mean, I'm covering the notes already. Why do I move? See, the fingering style I use is I don't move if I don't have to, unless there's a real good reason for it. Here, I can get all these notes in the same hand position. So I would recommend you to stay where you are and use 5 fingers. Don't shy away from using this awkward fingers. We need to be using these. So yeah, 4, 5. 3, and then going on, I'm still there. Now on page 35, at the end of the line, you're here. During the rest, now you're going to come up here, here, here. And I recommend a 1/4 for the whole note. The thumb's going to catch both. But... And now for the 3rd measure, you can do a 1. Here. Now, if you can't get up in here, then you got to do this. I'll leave that up to you and the size of your hand. But otherwise, I'm going to do that. And then back up again. And then again. And then for the 4th line, you lift up and come down like you were at the beginning. And then during the rest, you come up. During the rest, you come up again. Isn't this fun? You do the right hand. I already did. Left hand, you got its broken chords. Look at this. This note, and this note. So we're in this position. recommend fourth finger on the C sharp because really the chords are this and this. And that's the fingerings, and so that's what I'm recommending you use. You're stressed out a little bit. That's good for you. That's pretty much all the left hand does. Well, that's fine because the right hand's busy enough. So put them together slowly. You're here. These, these, these. So that note is by itself, and then here. Get the idea? You put the hands together. Then go back through the touchy spots. Go as slow as you need to. And get rid of all the hesitation so it's a steady beat throughout the whole thing. And once we have that, we can think about the articulation. You're connecting the right hand. It's slurred. Here. The left hand is staccato. I'm flexing at the wrist here short. Same time. And then accent. So top of page 35, toward the end of the first line under the stab, they have staccato simile. That's simply telling you to keep playing staccato in the left hand until they tell you something else. They don't tell you anything else. So you're simply going to play the left hand staccato all the way through. This saves them having to put dots on every note, all the way through. I mean, they could have done that staccato simile a lot sooner. They could have done it by the second or third measure at the bottom of page 34 if they wanted to. It doesn't matter. You're just going to play the left hand staccato. And the right hand, you can play it however they tell you to. Now, in the second line, in the right hand, they don't tell you anything. You can't really connect them very well, so just hold them out. Don't worry about it. Separate just a little bit. And then staccato. That's fine. So once you have a handle on the articulation, then we go in and add the dynamics. MP at the beginning is mezzo piano. It's sort of soft, and that's the melody, which is the right hand. Whatever you think sort of soft is, not soft, just sort of soft. That makes the accented notes sort of loud because they're... And they give you another mezzo piano at the top, page 35. You don't really need it. You're already mezzo piano. So... second line, you go up to moderately loud, mezzo forte, right hand. And you're staying there until the fourth line, you go back down to moderately soft. The left hand's just in the background. Just keep it out of the way. Then we get the speed. Well, this is where we have to put it back in cut time. Allegretto is kind of it's between moderato and allegro. I call it the fun speed. When I see a piece allegretto, I think, okay, we're going to have some fun here. But it's not necessarily the speed of the beat. It's the overall feel of the piece. We want this to be just kind of a happy, fun thing. Fast would be, we don't want it fast, but moderate would be, and that drives it. So it's got to be somewhere in between them. So the speed of the beat is whatever it is based on the feel of it. And that means the 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, see, that's not allegretto for the speed of the beat. Because you'd want a 1, 2, 1, 2. That's about allegretto. That's too fast for the right hand. So we slow it down. It's the feel of it. And we want to feel it in 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Really, it's only the first beat of the measure that gets the accent. 1, 2, 1. Natural acts. 1, 2. We want to feel it in 2. see in the page 31 on the fourth line down. In the second measure, you see that ACCEL. That means accelerando, which means gradually speed it up. You don't know how much to speed it up, you just speed it up. And take your time on it, because you're starting at... So I'm still about the same speed. Then I go up a little bit. A little more. A little more. More. So it's almost like every measure or two, I'm just speeding up a little bit. Now in the last line here, I'm not speeding up in the middle of this. This is all one speed, whatever speed I'm going. And then the next measure, I can speed up a little bit. You have to plan out these accelerandos. It's not like every note gets faster. It's maybe each phrase gets faster or each measure gets faster. You have to figure it out based on the piece. But these eighth notes, they all have to be even and controlled, so don't go faster than that. If you start getting them off and they're not even anymore, you're going too fast.